Good morning, one and all. Welcome to the video lecture series of the digital signal processing module number one. In this video lecture, we will study about the concept of aliasing and its the reconstruction of a signal. Okay, so very important topics we are going to study here. Okay, so the first is nothing but aliasing, very important topic. And what do you mean by the word called aliasing? Okay, and in the previous video lecture, I have derived the very important derivation of the signal processing, that is the frequency domain sampling. I've taken a signal which is a time domain signal, okay, and then I've converted my signal into a frequency domain signal mathematically. Okay, so whatever the equation which we got, that is capital X of 2 pi by n into k is equal to summation ranging from n from minus infinity to from 0 to n minus 1 into x of n, or it can be xp of n, okay, e raised to minus j 2 pi by n into kn. So this formula is very important formula, and this formula we call it as a discrete Fourier transform, or the formula for DFT. Now today we are going to study something more important here, which is called as aliasing. Okay, so what do you mean by the word aliasing? Okay, so how the aliasing can be removed, okay, or it can be minimized. Okay, so the concept of aliasing says that, okay, if you have the two signals, okay, and whose frequency is not matching, okay, or you can say if the two signals are getting overlapped with each other, then there is a possibility that your signal may get your signal will lose the information. Okay, or the overlapping of samples. Okay, uh, we if they overlap with each other, then we say that the signal is been aliased. Okay, the aliasing concept, okay, it says here that if you have a signal, okay, for example, I will take in terms of the discrete signal only. Okay, I will take a few samples. Okay, for example, this is the zero sample. Okay, this is a sample number one, this is sample number two, and this is sample number three. Okay, for example, I have a sample at zero. Let us say the sample who has an amplitude of 4. Okay, and I have one more sample at 1. Sample amplitude is 3, and I have a sample at point number 2, okay, who which has an amplitude of 2, and I have one more sample at this particular point, okay, whose sample value is equal to 1. Okay, let us take this is my sample. The meaning of aliasing says that if I consider my signal to be a periodic signal, okay, the definition of periodic signal says that after n amount of time interval, the signal will repeat. Okay, for example, here, uh, if I consider, okay, if the value of capital N is equal to 4, okay, the value of capital N is equal to 4. Okay, it means that how many samples I have? I have total 4 samples, but you can say it as n is equal to 4 samples. 4 samples is nothing but your small n will vary from 0, 1, 2, and 3. In DSP, we will not take the values from 1, 2, 3, and 4. We start it from 0. Always remember this important point. Okay, we start it from point number 0, or sample number 0, sample number 1, sample number 2, and sample number 3. Okay, so it means that if I say that if there are 4 samples, it means that it will start from 3 and it will end at point number 3. Start from 0 and it will end at point number 3. So therefore, if I say it is a periodic, okay, if I say it is a periodic, it means that if I take this is 4, this is 5, if this is a 6, and if this is a 7, okay, it means that the samples which are there from 0 to 3, it will repeat once they complete their sample period. Okay, sample period, for example, T1, 0 to 3 is one block, that is nothing but for n is equal to 4. If it is a periodic, it means that at 4 again it will repeat from first. This has a 4, for 5 I have a 3, for 6 I have a 2, for 7 I have 1. This is signal is called as a periodic signal. Okay, so therefore the concept of aliasing says that if I have a signal, okay, which is a periodic signal, if it is a repeating at each amount of interval of time t, okay, at time t at time t2. If the samples are same, okay, then we say that the signals are sampled at 4 samples and they are not aliased. Okay, so the meaning of aliasing is nothing but over or we can say in the other word that overlapping. Okay, the signal, if they get overlap, we call it as aliasing, overlapping mechanism, overlap. Okay, so therefore what I do consider, we consider here is, if L, try to understand here, if L is nothing but the length, okay, if L is nothing but the length of samples, okay, and N is equal to number of samples, if L is equal to number of samples. Okay, so the condition for aliasing says that the value of N should be always then less than the length of sample, always be less than length of sample. Say, for example, if N is equal to 4, okay, it should be less than the number of sample. For example, you take it as a 5. If this condition is there, then there is no aliasing. There is no aliasing. Let us consider here. Okay. So what is the L? L is equal to 5. In the sense, the length is equal to how much? The length is 5. So what do you mean by the length is 5? Is nothing but it is 0, it is 1, okay, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So what is 0 to 4? Okay, 0 to 4 is nothing but how many samples? The length becomes 5, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is equal to 5. But how many samples I have? The samples are only 4. So this is my first sample. Okay, this is my second sample. This is third sample. This is my fourth sample. So the fifth sample is remaining. So the fifth sample is remaining. So if I continue like this, okay, if I continue in this particular direction, okay, if it is a periodic signal, in the sense it will repeat for 5, 6, 7, okay, 8 and 9. In the sense at 5, it will be, if I give the number as 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so at 5, it will be 4. At 6, it will be 3. At 7, it will be 2. And at 8, it will be 1. And this is left out. So what you can see here, my samples are ending at this point, and here the next sample is starting at this point. No overlapping of these samples with the next 4 samples. Okay, so whenever you find such signals where there is no overlapping of samples, then we call it as it is no aliasing. Okay, and what should be the condition such that there should not be any kind of aliasing? The condition is nothing but your value of N should be less than L, number of total samples. Okay, so this is the first condition for the aliasing. Okay, now let us consider the second part of that. Say, for example, okay, say, uh, for example, here, say my N is greater than L. Greater than L is, let us consider that the value of N is 5, which is greater than the length 4. The length 4. So let us draw again the signal as a discrete signal here. Okay, like this. Okay, so give this point as 0. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. How many samples? What is the value of L? It is 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. Is nothing but how many? It is 4. Right? Let us, I will write here also. It is 5. This is 6. Okay, this is 7. This is my 8th sample and this is my 9th sample. So how many, what it should be the value of N? N is how much? N is 5, L is 4. So 4 is nothing but it will come at this point. Okay, the next 4 is nothing but 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is the next sample. But how many samples I have? I have total 5 samples. So the first sample, if I consider here as 5, the second sample is 4, third sample is 3, fourth sample is 2, fifth sample is 1. Okay, this is my first 5 samples. I have considered the periodic signal. Then what should be from where the second sample should start? Second sample should start at 0.5. Okay, at 0.5 it should repeat, but at 0.5 I already have a value called as 1. So at 0.5, if it starts, it becomes, this is my fifth 5. Okay, this is 4, then this is 3, then this is 2, and this is nothing but 1. So what happened here? Here, the two samples get overlapped. That is 5 and 1, they are overlapped. You can see at 5, I have already a 1. Okay, I have already 1, but when I start it repeating at 5, I got it 5. Okay, so therefore, if the number of samples, that is n, if it is greater than the length of the samples, then you may find the concept of aliasing. Okay, therefore this becomes the unwanted component. Okay, it becomes unwanted component. Okay, unwanted component in the reconstruction signal. Unwanted component in the reconstruction in the sense, when you want to get back your original signal at the receiver. Okay, if you do not follow this concept, if you do not follow the concept of n is less than l, then you may end up with aliasing. Okay, you may end up with aliasing. So therefore, to avoid the aliasing, okay, what we do it, we go for, we have one important filter, it is called as anti-aliasing filters. It is called as anti-aliasing filters. Okay, which removes this particular unwanted signal, and it will try to get or reconstruct the original signal with the signals which was sampled by the Nyquist criteria, which is nothing but the value of FM should be greater than or equal to 2 times the FM value. This is the Nyquist rate. Okay, so therefore, if you want to avoid the aliasing, you should use this condition. Nothing but hardware part is anti-aliasing filter. So that there should not be any kind of overlapping of signals with at this particular point. Okay, this is what the concept of aliasing. Okay, so now let us go for the reconstruction. Okay, yesterday we have derived the formula for the frequency domain sampling. Okay, so today we will go for reconstruction. We will go for reconstruction. Very important uh, derivation again, reconstruction. Okay, so what actually the reconstruction here says that the signal which you have sampled, okay, in the previous derivation, here you need to get back. So therefore, for the reconstruction, okay, we usually start with the signal of xp of n. Okay, so xp of n. What is the concept of reconstruction? Says that in the previous derivation, I have applied the x of n as an input, then I have transformed it to capital X of 2 pi by n into k. Okay, or you can simply say that I take the input x of n. Okay, I take the input x of n and I will convert it to frequency domain, which is nothing but x of k. Both are same by the formula called as DFT formula, which I have derived in my yesterday's video lecture. Okay, so what I have done, I have transformed the time domain signal to a frequency domain signal. This is the yesterday's part of the concept. Now today what we will do is, I will take the frequency domain signal and I will transform it into the time domain signal. Okay, I will transform the time domain signal. So what is the frequency domain signal which we got yesterday? Is it was 2 pi by n into kn. So I will transform it to xp of n, or simply you can say x of n. Okay, so here this x of n was your input, okay, and your x of k was your output. But here the condition is reverse. This is now input and this is my output. Okay, this is the concept of the reconstruction. Okay, this category will fall under the reconstruction mechanism. Okay, so let us try to derive the reconstruction of this particular formula. Okay, so the reconstruction for this particular derivation, okay, let us start for the reconstruction. Okay, so reconstruction. Okay, reconstruction, how we try to reconstruct the signal here. Okay, how we try to reconstruct the signal. Reconstruction is nothing but getting back your original signal. For that, I will consider my input signal xp of n. Okay, so xp of n have a formula which is nothing but summation. Okay, here it is k ranging from 0 to n minus 1. It is ck, coefficient of the matrix, that is ck, e raised to, okay, plus j 2 pi divided by n into k n. This is equation number 1. This is a standard equation, okay, which we follow or which we use here. Okay, now what is actually the ck is, you need to define what is ck. Here is ck is equal to 1 divided by n summation n ranging from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, xp of n e raised to minus j 2 pi divided by n into k n. This is my second formula. So I have taken the two formula. One is xp of n is equal to summation from 0 to k, n minus 1. That is with respect to k here. Okay, it is not n, it is k, but here it is n. So ck e raised to j 2 pi by n into kn, and second formula is ck. For ck, I have used this particular formula. Now let us go back to the earlier derivation, that is frequency domain sampling derivation, okay, which says that capital X of 2 pi divided by n into k is equal to, we have a summation here, summation n ranging from 0 to n minus 1. It was xp of n e raised to minus j 2 pi by n into kn. Let us call it as equation number 3. So I have taken the 3 equation. This third equation number 3 is from the frequency domain sampling, which we have derived yesterday, and xp of n I have defined here, and in xp of n I have a ck, which also I have defined here. Okay, so what I will do here is I will put equation 3 in equation number 2. I will put equation number 3, okay, in equation number 2. Okay, putting equation number 3 in equation number 2. So if I put equation number 3 in equation number 2, okay, so what I get here is it is a bit different here. Okay, equation number 3 in equation number 2. What equation number 3? I will not put 3 in 2. I'll just make a change here. Okay, so that it will be again more clear here. Okay, and let us put in a reverse manner here. So put equation number. Okay, fine. I will just make again here, putting 3 in 2. 3 in 2 is nothing but what is equation number 3? Equation 3 is this, and equation number is this. Okay, so here if you look at this summation from here to here is exactly the summation for this. Okay, so therefore ck, new ck, what I get is I get 1 divided by n. Instead of writing the whole summation ranging from 0 to n minus 1, I will simply write capital X of 2 pi divided by n into k, and call this as equation number 4, right? So this whole section I have just replaced here. I just applied replaced here at this particular point. Now what I will do is I have equation number 4 now. So what I do is I put equation number 4 in equation number 1. So if I put equation 4 in 1, I get xp of n is equal to 1 by n. I will take it outside because it is a constant, or you can even change also, no issues here.